Good afternoon to everybody. Today topic is substance of report. So what are the learning objectives of today's session? Discuss the subject matter of various types of reports. Prepare a proposal for any type of report. Review and edit the draft of the report. So first we are discussing what is the meaning of research report. Or sometimes you can say that simply what is report writing. Research reports are recorded data prepared by researchers or statisticians after analyzing the information gathered by conducting organized research, typically in the form of survey or quantitative methods. So, when you are preparing the research report, now after statistical analysis of your data, then after that, how you have to interpret the analysis and prepare the thesis. You can say reports or you can say thesis. So this research report is a reliable source to recount details about a conducted research. That means what happened? Now, when you are doing your research work from beginning to end means that is you have to prepare the research report. So our aim is when you are preparing the research report about the study of your research, you have to present in the writing format. So in this research report, what happened? Now we have to prepare from the introduction to end of the report. That means when you are collecting the data from the markets or from the respondents, at that time our aim is that as per objective of our research study, we have to collect the data and after that we have to analyze the data for our new solution or new investigation. For that cases, what happened? Now we can prepare a well draft of a research report and presenting it in a writing format. A research report is a well-crafted document that outlines the process, data and findings of a systematic investigation. It is an important document that serves a first-hand account of research process and it is typically considered an objective and accurate sources of information. That means when you collect the data from the respondents, you have to present it whether this data is correct or not, or after analysis, you have to implement that our solution is correct and it will be documented with a that is writing format. This is called the report. So what are the features of research report? It is a detailed presentation of research process and findings, and it is usually includes table and graphs. So when you are preparing your thesis or preparing your report, research report, at that time what happened? From where you are collecting the data, what is the process of data collection, what is your objectives, what is your findings, what is your analysis. So when you present in your writing your research or you're writing a report, at that time you have to prepare the tables and graphs and it is written in a formal language. So when you are writing a thesis or your report or your project report or research report, so at that time the language is a formal language because everyone should understood that what you have written in your research report. A research report is usually written in the third person. Generally, what happens when you are preparing your research or when preparing your that is your what is the title of the research, or you can say the body of the research or your analysis of the research. So generally, if you are comfortable to write the research report, so there is not a problem. But sometimes what happened, the research report generally writing the third person. Why it is called the third person? Now, when you are preparing the research report, it should be formal language. So this is the one problem generally we are facing, that how to write the report, what type of language we use in the research report. That means it should be suitable, but it should be that is comfortable for everyone to read and to find out the solution. This is a very, very important task for everyone. That how can you prepare the research report? Then it is informative and based on the first and verifiable information. So that means when you are collecting the information or when you are using this information to your research report, so it should be verified, because don't mention the wrong word or wrong information in your research report. This is very important, and it is formally structured with headings, sections, and bullet points. Now, sometimes what happens when you can see the books. Suppose this one books is also is a research report. So this is a educational report. You can say that when you are writing a books, at that time what happened? Every section or every point, every paragraph, there is a section or heading. You can say, and some sub points is given in the books. So that is also given the bullet points and there whenever it is required. So accordingly, when you are preparing your research report, also the heading and section and bullet point, these three is very important. So if you are not using the heading, section, and bullet point, that means your research report are not in the proper way or proper format. You can say that. It is always include the recommendation for future action. That means what happens if you are using this type of structure or requirement of your heading when it is required, sections when it is required, bullet points when it is required. So if you are going in this way, after that what happened? What is the features? Now we can recommendation for the future option or future action. So sometimes everywhere when the researcher they are doing any research, so after that they have to prepare a report, and this report you have to send everyone whenever it is required. For your educational research, you have to submit to your organization. For organizational research, you have to submit this report in your organization. Or anywhere you want to do research in that particular organization, you have to deposit it. So our aim is that why you are preparing this research report. Now this research report, if you are going to given to any organization, ultimately final solution is that you have to recommend it or anyone or your authority or your head of the department, they should recommend this your research report to the third party or anywhere it is required or actually anywhere it will require, they have to submit it. So many type of research report we are preparing. Educational research you can say, organizational research you can say, minor research you can say, major research you can say. Suppose you are going for your PhD work, at the time also you have to prepare the research report, and this is called the thesis, PhD thesis. When you are going for your organizational report, suppose for SIP, when you are studying in your PG level or you can say undergraduate level, at the time one project report you have to submit it in your organization before your examination. So at that time also you have to prepare report. This is called summer intensive or summer project or live project also you can say that. So various type of research projects are available. Now question is that when you are doing your research report, what is the importance of this one? The first important is the knowledge transfer. Knowledge transfer means what? Now, when you are doing your research report or when you are preparing your research report, anyone can read your research report and they can gather your knowledge. That means your knowledge transfer to anyone. Has already started above one of the reason for carrying out of research is to contribute to the existing body of knowledge, and this is made possible with a research report. A research report serves a means to effectively communicate the finding of systematic engagement to all and sundry. That means what happened? Now, when you are doing your research work, how can you know that you are doing a good research work? How can you know that your solution is very suitable for the betterment of the society? So, how can we know that? So, after you prepare a research report, again you submit it, then only the other person they can read your research report and they can find out that yes, they are doing the very good research report, and we can recommend it this one for the further action of the society. Again, maybe education level, maybe society level, maybe organizational level, anywhere if you are suitable, so they can present it. Second one is identification of knowledge gaps. Sometimes what happens, suppose many researchers they are doing the research work and many researchers they are not completed the research work. So if they are not completed research, they cannot prepare the research report. There is lack of gaps are there, lack of knowledge are there. So in that cases, what happen if you are doing a good research report or you are preparing the good research, at that time this identification of knowledge gap should be find out. With the research report, you had be able to identify knowledge gap for further inquiry. So that means if your research report is very good, at that time someone they are evaluating, someone they are reading this one and they can find out the gaps of the uh, further inquiry. A research report shows what has been done while hinting and other area needing systematic investigation. So that means if they are find out the gap of their research work, so immediately whatever they are implementing this one and they are doing their research work. So these two is very important for the research report. One is knowledge, another is knowledge gap. So these two is very important. Then, what are the structure of research report? So, when we are doing a, we want to go for the research, writing the research report. So, at that time, what happened? Now, we have to follow the following information, and this is very important. A research report is usually broken down into the multiple section, which allows for a concise presentation of information. One is structure of the research and another one is the purpose of the research. These two is very important for this session. You remember this one. First one is title. Yes, this is obviously. If your title is not up to mark means your title should be suitable for your research study. So how can you find out this title? The title what happened now before you doing your research work, first you go for the literature review. The fourth point is there, fifth point. According to the literature review, that means first you have to find out that where is the gap. That's why we are going for the research work. So you have to find out the gap. Unless until literature review, you cannot find out the gap. Literature review means what happened? Now, before you select your title, first you have to collect the information on the public research. From the public research work, first you have to find out that where is the gap. Accordingly, we can do our research work. If there is no gap, there is no meaning of the research work. For suppose you can do your SI, summer intensive program. So here summer intensive program, whatever you are going to the organization, and some organization they are giving some topic to you. You are not selecting the topics. They are giving the topic to you as per their requirement. So accordingly, you can choose your title. Someone they are doing in the marketing area, some are doing your finance area, some are doing your HR area, some are social topics. We can tell them. So and as per the requirement of the organization, they are collecting the what are the gaps of our research, and according to they will select the topics. Suppose that for a live project cases also, some organization they are taking the students for the live project to collect some information from the market, which are more required for our organization. So that's why what happened, they are going for the live project, maybe 1 month, maybe 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year like this. This is called the live project. So many organizations they are doing this every year throughout the year they are doing this one. So that means your title should be fulfilled or it should be fit for your research work. I was given an example everywhere. That is, suppose you want to do your the research regarding to development of the education in particular institution. So that means what happened? Now that system, the process of the education system should be changed. Accordingly, you have to take the title. For the title, a study on for development of the educational system in the B school, particularly ABC organization, or development of the development of the educational process of B school, a business school management, a study on suppose IGNU. So anywhere you can take. So this title should be. That means what happened? Now accordingly you can collect the information. Second one is after you select your title, then in your research you have to put your table of contents. Table of contents means what happened? Now, what you want to put in your research report, details you have to mention. Either chapter wise according as per your requirement or as per your research work. Chapterization, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6. Yes, no. So, what is chapter 1? Chapter 1 should be the introduction or background of the study. Always you have to mention this one. Chapter 1 should be introduction or that is what is the background of the study. Always you have that means what happened now before you do one to before you go for your research work, what study you have done, what is the background of your study. In this background of the study, what when now you have to write there, either you can write the background of the study, then what is the significance of the study, objective of the study, limitation of the study, as per requirement you can put it. So after introduction, what happened? The literature review is required. It is 100% required. Without literature review, that means how can from where you are collecting your research gap, you have to mention there. From where you have to collect the research gap. So research gap only you can find out from the literature review. That means what happened? Now suppose before you doing your research work, you have to collect more information. What information you are doing? You are taking? The information means that so many investigators or so many researchers they are doing the research work from last 10 years, but the lacking is that they are not identifying what are the requirement to develop the education system in every B school. They are not mentioning this one. So that means you identify this gap, accordingly you are doing your research work. So before you go for the literature review introduction, also you can go abstract summary of the research. So before what happened, in summary you have to put this one. That means what happened? Now before you write your introduction literature review, one abstract. This abstract we can put after completing your research report, then you can do your abstract and you are putting the before contents. That means what happened in here? Now abstract is very important for what purpose? Now purpose is the what is you can that the details research report in a paragraph within a paragraph or the details short summary of your research work. So this is called the abstract. You can take after table contents, you can put this abstract. So that means this extract is based on what happened, your introduction, literature review, and after investigation, finding, discussion, conclusion, everything it will be in your summary of your abstract. So basically what happened, when you are doing your research work at that time, either research paper you can publish or your PhD thesis you can publish or your any social research you can do it. So at the time what happened, a short summary of your research you are putting here, because in your short summary you cannot given the details. So that's why what about your study, so anyone you can read it and they can understand that yes they will done in this species, they have prepared the research report, and they, after that they will go for the details. So in your literature review, what happened? Now you have to identify your gap, and also you have to find out the research objectives. So if gap unless until you find out your gap, so you cannot mention your objective. So objective is depending on your research gap, and research gap is title is depending on your research gap. So research gap, title, and your abstract, and your objectives, it should be required. Then after that, what investigation? Third point, investigation. Sometimes you can write the investigation. Sometimes you can write the model. Sometimes you can write the theory of the framework. Everything you can find out, and you can use in the investigation. Means generally you can what happen? Now your research methodology and your data analysis. This is called the investigation. So what you have done, what type of techniques you are using, and what type of analysis you are using in your research, and you have to investigate it. After that you go for the findings. After that you find out the solution. What is the finding? Now what you find out for your analysis, you have to mention this. So after finding of your analysis, then you will go for the discussion. So discussion means what happened? About your study you have to discuss. After discussion in what happened, now you can give some suggestion to the future research. So that is one point. Another point also you can add it in here after discussion, the future scope of the research. I have done in this way, but other way also you can do your research work. You can use this parameter, you can use this objectives, you can use these techniques, you can everything you can mention. This is for the suggestion of the for the future research. So after that, finally you are going for the conclusion of your research. So in this conclusion, what happened? What is your finding and what you have to collect the conclusion from your research work. So you have to mention details. So after that, when you are going for the literature review or when you are going for the objectives, from where you are calculating details also you have to mention. Now what happened? This is called the references and appendices. References what happened? From where you are collecting the research gap. That means you have to refer some reference or previous investigator. The name and author of this research work particularly you can mention in the references. The references 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And you can take the name. That means in the references you have to mention that name of the author, year of publishing, or journals, that is which journals you have to publish or which publisher you have to publish. After that, title of the thesis or title of the research, title of the papers, and what is the number of pages from this pages, and which volume you are going to publish. This one already published, the volume numbers, and if the URL number is there also you can mention this one. So everything you have to give in reference, because when anyone see or anyone show your research work, they can find out there from where they are collecting the information. So it is given mention that references, research name, year of the publication, title of the research, which journal or which publisher they are publishing, and one number is there also, publication number is there. In research paper cases you can get ISSN number, and books cases you can say ISBN number, it is given. So after the, if the link is there, URL link, you can say that. If link is there, also you can put there. After that, appendices. Appendices means what happened? Now, when you are going for the analysis, some big tables are there or big data sets are there. So you cannot, it is not advisable to put in the body of the research. At last also you can give appendix 1. Or you want to put your questionnaire when you are going to data collection. This questionnaire also you can given in your appendix. This additional you can and you can refer this one. So many type of appendices we can give an information. You can say table contents. You can say a questionnaire also you can put is there, or some other tables is required. Additional table is required or information is required. Also you can put it in your appendices. So this is the structure of research report: title, table contents, abstract, introduction, literature review, investigation or data analysis, you can say, finding, discussion, conclusion, reference, and appendices. So these are the structure of research report. So now this is very, very important. When you are preparing the proposal, any research, the proposal. So this proposal is very, very important. And generally what happens, if you want to not write, but if you want to don't write the research proposal, someone or third party, they can prepare the research proposal, and accordingly you have to do your research work. And this research proposal gives the information the following items. Without this information you cannot write the proposal. This proposal is very, very important. And when you are preparing the research proposal, it should be correct and the systematic way. If your proposal is wrong, your entire research process is wrong also. First one is descriptive title of the study. So when you are preparing your study, it should be clear and it should be true. So for that cases, what happen? You are going for descriptive study. So before you writing one title of your study, of a research study, so at that time you have to collect the information, or you have to do some research work. And this is called the descriptive research. Or in this case, what happened from descriptive study? So your title should be, that means when you are doing your research work, entire research objectives, it will be in your title. So from the title, you can find out that what you want to go for your research work, or what you have done in your research work. If any experts or third person, they want to see your title, they have to understand that, yes, they have done it like this, like this. So topic is very very important. Your topic is wrong, entire process is wrong. Topic is very very important, and your objective is also very very important. These two. Then after that, if you find out the title, then for the descriptive research work or descriptive title of the study, if you are find out this one, after that you have to mention that who is the author and their background. That means who will go for the research work. So the proposal should be required. Suppose you are a expert. Suppose you are expert in your science background, or your physics, chemistry, or you can see in the management cases. Suppose you are expert in marketing. If you are giving the title of your finance area, so that means what happened? This is not accurate. So that means what happened? Whenever anyone they want to do the research work, suppose that you want to give a proposal to the central government to study that what is the how to develop the tribal women entrepreneurs. Suppose that question is that. Yes or no? So when you are giving this title to the central government or any agencies, government agencies, so at that times they want to know that who is given this proposal and what is his background. Your background is you are not an educational background. You are an educational background. You are a business background. So everywhere. That means what happened? They have to first find out. Yes, background means if he is a professor of this area and is about social economics or anywhere, so he is suitable. The author is suitable for doing the research work in the particular topics. So if your background is not support you to do the research work in the particular topics, they are not giving that research to research proposal. They are not accepting your research proposal, and they are not admitted it that you do your research work in the particular area. So that means what happened when you are submitting any research proposal to any organization, first they have to verify it. Who is the authors and what is the background of the authors? Whether he is suitable for this particular topics or not suitable for particular topic. If he is suitable, then they may accept your proposal. If not suitable, they will not accept your proposal. Before accept your proposal, they will call you and going for the presentation. After presentation, if they are satisfied, then after that they will go for the accept for the proposal. Then in this proposal, what happened? After you putting your author's name and your background of the author, then what happened? You have to mention clearly what is the nature of the study. And nature of the study is very, very important. What is this? The problem to be examined. Problem to be examined. So what problem happens? For that cases, you are going for the research work in the particular area. So problem to be examined and it will be proper way you have to mention this one. That means how can you mention this one? The significance and need for the study. And it is called significance and need of the study. What? Why you are going for this research work? The significance means what happened? Why you are going for this research work? The problem is happening, that's why you are going for research work. If you are not identify your problem from your research topics, then how can you go for the research work? So that's why the identification of your problem and it will be thoroughly examined. After that, you can go for the significance of the study. So after significance of the study, you have to go for background information. This background information is available or not. If background information is available and you are put in your proposal, after that you have to find out your scope and limitation. Scope and limitation is very very important. That means you have to mention this one that. So what is the scope of the study? Why you are doing this study? Why you are doing this research project? Why you are submitting this proposal, research proposal? What is the limitation? Why you are doing this research proposal? So you have to mention one by one. Right. So this scope of the study is very very important and it will be coming under your nature of the study. And another one is to whom will it will be useful? The usefulness of your research proposal. Why you are doing, for whom you are doing your research work, and it should be mentioned. So nature of study is very very important when you are preparing any research proposal. So first one is identification of the problem or problem to be examined. Without problem identification, the study is not correct or not, study is not outdated. Then after that, what happened? The significance of the study, background information of the study, scope of the study, limitation of the study, and you have to find out to whom it will be useful. Yes, sir. So this is very very important when you prepare the proposal. Then fourth point is hypothesis. Hypothesis what happened? Now to whom you are preparing this thesis means after your what is you can say the stock scope and limitations of your study. So you have to mention the objectives of the study. The objective from where you have to find out this can be calculated or this can be find out from the research gap. When you go for the literature review, at that time you have to find out the objectives, and this objective you have to mention first, and from these objectives you can find out of your hypothesis. Suppose you can take objective 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not an issue. And accordingly you have to take the hypothesis. Why you are using the hypothesis? Why you are taking the hypothesis? And to test it whether this objectives is accepted or not. The objective is accepted or not. For example, that I am giving this example already given, and to develop the quality education of any school. So at that time, so you have to find out that as per our objectives, suppose first objective is that there is some lacking the practical knowledge of the student in your classroom. So when you are taking the hypothesis from these objectives, that means so it is true, yes, lacking of practical knowledge in the classroom, or you can write that lacking of practical knowledge is significant in the classroom. So this is your null hypothesis. An alternative hypothesis what happened? Lacking of knowledge is not significant in the classroom. That two hypotheses you are taking, and you have to test it. How can you test it in this one? Now the test we can take use of the statistical techniques, and you have to use it whether this statement is accepted or rejected. So this hypothesis is every proposal or every research work. If you are mentioning the research hypothesis, that means it will be good research proposal for everyone. So without hypothesis, the proposal is some lacking is there. That means you have to accept it, you have to reject it, or you have to test it whether this is accepted or not accepted. So that's why what happened. Now every topic, every research proposal, the hypothesis is required. Yes or no? Then after hypothesis, you test it. How can you test it? Now we need the data. So when you need the data, always everywhere. When you are going for research work, you need the data. So from which source you have to collect the data? What are the procedure and what is the methodology you have to use for analysis of data? You have to mention. And the 5 point is that data or sometimes data sources, data collection method or data analysis. So you have to mention in there which sources. First one is sources. Which sources you are going to your quality of data, you have to clearly it is mentioned. Sources means what happened? From where you have to collect the information. Who are the target audience? Who are the target people? From where you can collect the data? Yes or no? So these are sources are there. Either you are going for the primary sources or you are going for the secondary sources. If you are going for the primary sources, from where you have to collect the data. If you are going for the secondary sources, where you are collecting the where you are going to collect the data. Primary sources means only you have to collect the questionnaire method. You have to prepare some questionnaire, and this is called the collection procedure. You have to prepare the questionnaire, and after that you have to send this questionnaire to the respondents, or you can prepare this questionnaire from the Google form, or you can physically take this questionnaire to the respondents, and you collect the data. Data collection method is various type of data collection methods are there. Already we are discussing the method of data collection, and you have to clearly it will be mentioned there how to collect the data, in which way you have to collect the data. Then after that, what are the methodology you are using for data analysis? This is very very important of your analysis part. What type of methodology you are using, or what type of methodology you are using for your data analysis. So you have to clearly mention. That means how to clearly mention in this one methodology of the app for the analysis. So that means when you are collecting the data from the sources, various sources, after that which technique you are using this one. Techniques means what happened? The first one is you think about your data presentation, interpretation. So you have to test your data first for the reliability or validity test. After that, you go for the analysis of the data, either parametric test or the non-parametric test, as per requirement of your objectives and the requirement of your topic selection. So this methodology and analysis is clearly it will be mentioned in your proposal. And when the proposal, anyone verify your proposal, they have to focus on one is title, one is abstract, one is research gap, what is objectives, hypothesis, and methodology. These three is these five is very important. After that, then what you want to do in a research work, then you have to mention. But this 5 point is very important. Then equipment and facilities required. Equipment facilities required means when you are going for your research work, what type of equipment is required and what type of facility is required. Suppose you want to go for research work in the central government or central government project, you want to go for throughout the India. So at that time resources are there, equipment are there, facilities are there. If it is available, then only you can do it. Suppose you want to go for you are doing in your organization, so organization should be supportive and they will provide some instruments, some equipments, some facility, that only it is possible. So for that cases what happen, UGC one in educational system, one UGC is there, AICT is there, every day every year they are doing their some research work as per instruction by the central government, and they are going for the one minor research project, major research project, and some higher research project also they are going, and they are already giving some organization and also they are giving some educational organization and to do the research work. Most of the organizations, educational organizations, they are doing so many projects in every year. Management institute, particularly what happened, some research institute they are given the permission to do the research work also. So this equipment and facilities 100% it is required, and what type of requirement, what type of equipment is required, what type of facility is required for your research proposal, already you have to mention this one. Sometimes what happen, they are giving suppose project grant or research grant. Yes sir. At the time what happen, they are looking this one. What should be equipment should be required? How many equipment should be your organization should be given, and how many requirement you have to purchase it. So accordingly, they will grant your that is research proposal, and they have to give the money. Yes sir. So these all equipment facility 100% you have to mention in your research proposal. Then schedule target dates and completing. This is also because whatever now when you are going for your research work, how many time should be required? What is the date in between that you have to complete your research work? Yes or no? So many things you have to prepare. So it should be mentioned in there. Substitute target dates from for library research, primary research, data organization and analysis, outline the report, first draft, final draft. And this should be clearly it should be mentioned. Library research means whatever, several literature review. So when you are going for literature review, how much time should be required? And from where you are going for the literature review. So it will be clearly mentioned. The time should be required. And suppose that at 2 months it is required for the library research. And after that library research, you are going for the primary research. Primary research means what happens? In a library research, you can identify your gap and you prepare your objectives. After objectives, as per your requirement, how much time should be required for your primary research? Either you are going for the primary data collection method, techniques you have to use and to collect the data, or you can go for the secondary data. But how much time should be required? What is the time frame of your primary research for the data collection? So you have to mention this one. Then organization and analysis, data organization and analysis. After that, how much time should be required for data organization and analysis? Data organization means what happened? You have to, after collect your data, you have to present it and analyze this. Presentation means you can show that the editing, coding, then classification, then interpretation, then you can go for the analysis. How much time should be required? So you have to clearly mention this one. Then what is the outlining the report? Where after that, When outlining the report, that means prepare the report. That means everything you have to put in a report work. How much time should be required? You have to mention this one. Then after that, when you complete this one, this is called your first draft. After that, again you can read vividly one by one. Check all the your summary or all the heading, all the report body of the report, everything you have to check it. After that, you checking everyone. Either you can check it or some expert you can give to them, and they have to prepare this one and they have to check it. Then after that, you have to prepare the final report and you have to submit it. You are getting my point or not? And this date, schedule target date, is very very important when you are preparing your proposal and you have to submit it. The next point is likely product or tentative outline. So that means what happens? So after that, what should be your tentative outline of your project work from starting to end? So you have to mention. And sometimes also this is called the action plan of your proposal, research proposal. Tentative outline or your action plan of your research work. Action plan means what happens? From starting to ending of your proposal. So how much time should be required? You have to prepare a tentative outline or your action plan, you can say that. In action plan, generally what happens? Now you are doing in a graphical method. From month 1 to month 2, you are going for what is library research, or you can say literature review. From 2 to month 3 to month 6, we are going for literature review or primary research. From month 6 to from 8, you are going for analysis. And from 8 to 10, you are going for the preparing the report. And 10th to 12, you are evaluating the report, and after that you have to present it. So every details, your work progress or your tentative time or outline, it should be mentioned in their graphical method. Easily anyone can understand that what you want to going to do it and what is your time frame and what you have to done in your project work. So after that, cost estimate. Cost estimate means what happens from beginning to end, every step or every process, what cost should be required. So you have to mention this one. This is called the project cost. This is called the project cost. Various organizations they are preparing the various cost is there. Some costing you have to prepare it, and it is required as per requirement. You have to collect it, and you have to put in your research proposal. The cost is very very recurring cost, non-recurring cost. This two is very very important. Recurring cost and non-recurring cost. If you are not mentioning these two, then maybe you are facing the difficulties when your project will be sanctioned. So that is as per rules of your any proposal. So your recurring and non-recurring costing is very very essential before you are passing your project. Then last one is bibliography. Bibliography means what happen? Which type of what are the books you are referring for your research work? This is the library. You can say that. So library research means what happen? Every research proposal, the books is required. That means first you have to gather your knowledge about this research work. But in your educational research cases, in your research paper published cases, PhD cases, this bibliography is not required. But in research proposal cases, bibliography is very very important. In research process, PhD research cases or any research papers you have to publish, at the time we are writing in place of bibliography, we are mentioning the references. But in your research proposal, you have to write the bibliography. That means from where you have to collect your knowledge, from where you have to develop your knowledge. So for that cases, which type of books you are referring to develop your knowledge and you start your proposal of the research. So these are the very very important when you are going to write a proposal of your any research. Getting my point or not? And this 10 points is very very important. After that, what happened for the type of research, technical research, what is the technical research? Oh, so many types of research are available. We are discussing later on. But this proposal, when you are writing the proposal of your research or research proposal, so these 10 points you have to minimum you have to maintain this one. After that, so many points are there, but minimum 10 is required. Accordingly, you have to prepare all the points. Then what are the categories of the report? categorize the report into three major categories. One is information oriented, decision oriented, and research oriented. So when you are preparing any research work, so you have to give the information to the society. For what purpose? For taking the decisions. If you are taking the decision, what happen? And they are going for the further research. So that means what happen? Now when you are preparing any research work, whether it is informative or not, that means when you are preparing your research work, or when you want to do your research work, so at that time you are submitting your research paper. This research process, but the research uh, what is information or research proposal, you can say that this research proposal will be informative or not. If you are giving this research proposal or you are passing this research proposal, can you collect the more information from the about the study or not? You have to write this one. Then decision oriented, whether it is decision oriented or not. That means what happen? Now, anyone, if they are referring your research work, so any decision they can find out or not, or any organization want to do the research work, they have to find out any decisions or not. So after that, when they are giving the passing this research proposal, so this proposal is or research oriented or not. Listen, so that's why what happen. Now when you are preparing your research work, maybe it is information oriented, maybe it is decision oriented, or maybe it is research oriented. Whatever this type of major report you have to prepare and you have to submit for the future research. Are you getting my point or not? So this category of the report is three types. One is informative or information oriented, one is decision oriented, or another one is research oriented. When you prepare the proposal, you have to focus on three. Then reviewing the draft. So reviewing the draft is very, very important. Listen now. When you are preparing the research report or when you are preparing your research proposal, so at that time what happened? Now before you prepare the final report or before you submitting your final report, you have to frequently ask question to you to review your draft or to review your proposal. Because what happened? Now when you are preparing your research report, so at that time so many parameters are there. In this parameter, what happened? Now you have to ask frequently to you as you are a researchers. So whether my draft is correct or not correct, any review is required or not. So you have to ask the question, frequent question to you. That means what happened? Not only the draft cases, also you are asking the questions frequently. Every steps of your research work, every steps you can ask, you will frequently ask your question to you. Then only what happened? Now your research work should be correct. Yes or no? Suppose you can write that. When I am choosing my title of the topics, whether this topic is correct or not, you are asking the question. Now suppose anyone, they can take the topics that our research title is Sun Rises in the West. A study on sun rises in the west. You ask question to you whether this is the right topics, because already earlier the researchers they are published that sun rises in the east. Sometimes what happened? Maybe some researcher told that or telling that he is mad. That's why he is choosing this type of topics. Yes or no? So that means what happened? Now, before you preparing, you finalize your topics. Again, you have to review it whether it's correct or not. So after that, when you write your abstract, you can say that. At that time also you have to review it. Whatever we are going to in our research work, it will be all mentioned in your abstract or not. If it is not mentioned, then again you review it, again you change it. Similarly, literature review, those literature review we are doing for our research project. These researchers are suitable or authentic for my research work or not. Someone they are doing the research work in educational, suppose in your what is that is cultivation area, but your research work in educational area. So these research topics, these references, if you are using in here or review you are using in here, how it is authentic? So first you have to review it. It is suitable for our research work or not. Then after that you find out your gap. The gap is as per our research work or our objective or not. Yes or no? So you have to first review it. Then after that you are preparing your draft. After you preparing your draft, again you have to evaluate it. To whom you have to send it? Now we have to send some expert. You have to send an expert. From this expert means what happen? Now first you have to give your abstract, author's purpose. Why authors want to do the research work in the particular area or particular topics. So when you have to give the purpose of this one, then all what happen? That is, what is the who will review your draft? What is his background and who is investigators, the authors? What is his profile? These two also you have to find out. So suppose I am preparing this research report, I have to give my abstract of the titles and my background. Number two, when you are sending your draft to any other persons, what is their profile? Suppose I am professor in your organization, and when you are sending your topics to whom? Yes or no? So the profile should be required. So when what happen? Now when you are submitting your reviewing your draft at that time, what is the profile of the authors? You have to mention this one. You have to send it. When you are reviewing your draft, suppose you are preparing the draft, you have to give to someone to reviewing it, or any organization they are giving to someone for the reviewing it. So at that time it is mentioned that who is the authors? They want to do this one. And what is his profile? Number one. And when organization want to send this draft to anyone, they also find out their background or their profile. Yes, sir. Third point is content. What contents you have to mention in your research report or in your preparing the research report? Also, you can prepare this one. Also, you have to give it. Then another is very, very important. Whether they have to evaluate it. When you are using your language, the language should be simple. It should be formal language. Whether you are using or not. That means what happens? Now, sometime if you are not preparing your thesis, if thesis is prepared by some other one, and when they are using the wording of the sentence, this should be formal or it will be difficult. So again, you have to review it. Sometimes review it, and after that, the length of your proposal, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, like this. Because what happens? And sometimes you are going for minor project, sometimes you are going for the major project. Minor project within the 6 months, major project after the 3 years, like this. Whether your project, your proposal is how much the time should be required, what is the length of the report, if it is suitable for our study or not. Sometimes, in suppose you can say that ISRO gases, they are preparing a new technology. So their timing should require 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Who is given the permission? The government given the permission. Whether they will given the permission or not. If your proposal is given that we have to prepare a new missile or new technology, or a new satellite, so your requirement is 20 years is required, and we can require money is at 20,000 billion crores. Yes or no? So that means what happened? Now government should find out that time should be support or not, cost should be available or not, or costing should be more. So for that they have to evaluate it. So what is the length of your project? Any project you can do it. What should be the length of your project? So after that, what is the appearances? Appearances is very, very, very important. Appearances is very, very important. That is whether it is suitable for our study or not. If you want to go for research work in cultivation area, so if you are going for your other area, then this is not a right proportion. So that's why what is the appearance of your project? It is be good or not? Yes or no? Then what are the advantages? If you are going for this research work or this research project, people research project, so what is the advantages of your report? Advantages means what happen? Now, if you are mentioning as per requirement of the proposal, or you can prepare the all the sections, heading, table, figures like this, everything. If you want to mention in your research proposal, then these are the advantages. What are the advantages? Provides update information. So when you are preparing your final draft of your research work, when somebody allows or somebody follow of your research project, the information should be updated. Facilitate the planning. Your plan out of your research work should be appropriate. Decision making. Anyone you refer or anyone follow this my research work, and they can take the more decisions of the future research. Or this research project is a decision oriented. When you are reading this one, you can find out more decisions. You can making the more decisions for my research work. This information should be reliable. Those information, already information I am giving in my research work, the reliable information should be reliable. So you can use this information some other research work from other techniques also. Solve problems. Solve problems should be suitable for the further research. Or sometimes what happen, you are using some developed model of the research work. Or anyone they are doing the research developed model, they are using develop the model for research work, and for future research cases, some other researchers they can put this model and they are doing their research work. Yes or no? Easily comprehensible. Yes or no? So after that what happens? Sometimes now when we are going for data collection, some researchers they are taking for past researchers questionnaire and they are doing their research work. Some authors or some writers they are publishing their questionnaire. Suppose for your uh, HRM practices, 360-degree, that is yeah, what is HR process, yes or no? So some authors they are developing the questionnaire. Only you put the questionnaire and you implement it in any organization. Same questionnaire and you giving the organization, you collect the information. So this type of, yes or no? So that means what happens if you are preparing your questionnaire or your model, your developing model, and some other one they are taking and they are doing their research work. So easily comprehensible and effective also. So it is more effective than others. So if you are giving the more information, then what happen? Now your research work is more effective for the further studies. And another one is time also consuming. Time also consuming means what happen? Now if you are going in proper way, if you are preparing your draft or research proposal, your time frame should be appropriate. So that means what happen? Now you have to follow it whether the time should be in proper way or it should be completed in the timeline, proper timeline. So for that cases what happen? Every proposal, if you are mentioning the travel chart or your time, what is that time frame. So if you are giving, if you are mention every proposal, then what happen? Now automatically your research proposal will be completed in the your research work will be completed in this time frame. So this is the advantages when you are preparing your substances report. And these for today classes what happen? Now when we are discussing about your proposal, what is the research proposal, how can you prepare it, and what is the proposal of your for your the research proposal, how it is effective or how it is suitable for any organization to do the research work. So this is the total discussion about here the how to prepare the research report. And next class we are discussing about what are the type of research work and how to prepare the research report. Thank you. Thank you.